Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to be building, as you can see, the arena. Thought I'd sit here and watch it with you and give you some commentary. Right about now, I'm just trying to plan out exactly how I'm going to lay this out. As with many of us crafters, I have lots of foam. So I decided to jump straight into the fencing part of the arena. The details of the arena basically say that it's a cage, kind of a cage match that my players will be going through. Here I am getting distracted by a squirrel. Let's get back on task. Photon Workshop, that's what I use to lay out everything that I'm going to 3D print. And these are the fence pieces that I'm going to be printing. Right now I'm trying to size them just right. I think what I needed was them to be about 3 inches wide, so basically 15 feet, using a 5-foot scale. And I'm going to need a bunch of them. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I'd appreciate it. Wanted a couple different types. That's what I'm doing here. Those 4 first ones are going to be the middle fencing, and these will be the sides, corners. I guess actually they'll be the corners. This is me slicing it, basically getting the file ready for my 3D printer. And I'm not going to bore you with this. So I wish 3D printing went this fast, but as you can see now, it's done. Hey, look at that. Fastest 3D printing in the West. Time to clean it up in a little alcohol bath. I basically want to get all that resin off of the 3D prints, the extra resin. Done. Gotta be really careful with that. Now that's just alcohol bath, but it is kind of contaminated with resin. So you gotta be careful. 3D resin always has to be cured. So I'm breaking out my handy dandy little UV fingernail dryer. Seen this in some other videos. This thing works great. There are some new cool dryers that many of you may have seen that actually wash and cure. Haven't felt the need to invest in one. So this arena is actually taking place in Cholt. It's a module, a part of a module for the Tomb of Annihilation, which my party has just started. So as you're going to see here, the theme for the day is green, and not just my shirt. Time to lay out that grid. One of these days I'm going to put together a template or something to help me lay out these 1-inch grids. One thing I have learned, I'm not the first person to have learned this, laying out the grid is actually 1 inch, even though we all know 1 inch equals 5 feet in, well, I guess it depends on your scale, but in this case, 1 inch equals 5 feet. Probably not the best thing to do from a miniature standpoint. What I'm probably going to start doing like 1 1/4 inch equals 5 feet. It just gives it a little bit more room for the players to move their miniature. But that being said, for this one I did do 1 inch. Like I mentioned, I may work on doing a template eventually. This is actually kind of therapeutic. Kind of spineless, just getting the grid. Then you always get really frustrated when you accidentally go from one dot to the wrong dot. Didn't do it on this one, but it's something I've done before, so it's something I like. One thing you'll find on a lot of the builds I do, they're kind of one-use builds. I haven't really got into creating modular terrain yet. It's on my to-do list. But a lot of these, I play weekly, so a lot of these is me prepping for this week. A lot of it is me actually prepping for the upcoming session. So I'm usually building for that week and not necessarily looking to the future. So here, as I mentioned, we are in Chult. We're in a jungle. So what do I need? I need a lot of Flora. So these are actually vines that are growing right outside my little studio here. So I actually just jumped out, grabbed some from a scale size. I thought they looked great. And I'm going to slice off some here to create, well, for stems, but this is going to be more trunks for the vines that are overgrowing this arena. The jungle is just creeping in and taking over everything. So since I'm actually trying to replicate something someone else has already designed for this module, a lot of it's just me adding embellishment to it, adding flavor to it. Just basically coming up with ways to add to the description. The description of this arena is that the gates for this arena are overgrown with vegetation. So part of this is here I am using the hot glue to put vines all over, and kind of going back with those little pieces I've cut out just to add leaves and vegetation to it. Trying to kind of randomly add some different vines here. You'll see here in the future I'm going to go back and actually start adding some color to that once the hot glue is dried. Yep, that was me going out to get more vines. Here I decided to go ahead and use kind of some bigger pieces. How to give it that jungle look. Another theme of this arena are vines that are going into the arena itself, which actually on Initiative 20 end up attacking the players if they're too close to the gates. So that was a fun feature. A recurring theme you probably see in a lot of my builds is I don't like unfinished sides. So a lot of times I'll go through and do just like I just did there and add the black just to make it look a little bit more finished. So these little pieces here, I actually 3D printed these. I actually took some open forge that you can find on Thingiverse. It's a whole bunch of different terrain pieces, dungeon tiles, things like that. But what I needed, and most of them you can interlock them together, but what I needed was I wanted thinner pieces. So I actually used 3D Modeler to take these and slice them in half so that I have like really thin tiles. That made it really nice for me to lay these out. This is totally for flavor. Here I am just doing a little dry brushing of some I use gray here just to add some depth. Didn't really have any rhyme or reason here, and as you're going to see, used a lot of different techniques. Here I am kind of doing, here I am actually doing the vines. As I mentioned, I kind of wanted to go back and add color to the vines. Added some different colors of green. This first is a really thinned out green. For builds like this, I'm really not into using the thinned out paints. So I usually end up going back and applying thicker. As you can see there, I'm using kind of a more the pure green. And when I say pure, I just mean thick, not undiluted green. Kind of jump in here. Just don't want to waste too much of your time watching me paint every piece of it. But hopefully that's what I was doing here. And of course, we need some vines going out from the arena. Here I'm using kind of a black wash just to try to get it into the crevices of the stonework, give it more depth. At the end of the day, the black wash wasn't getting the effect I want. I think you'll see here coming up that I start using it a lot thicker and adding kind of darker. I ended up using a lot of different greens and browns. Here I am actually adding thicker black to these because the wash was just kind of washing away. I think I maybe got diluted too much. If you have any great techniques you might want to suggest, I'd appreciate if you put them down in the comments. I'm always open to learning. Love a lot of your guys' videos out there. You guys are so good at painting and detail. I do plan on doing some bigger builds here and maybe some of the modular terrain that you guys have been showing. Here I am adding green to give it kind of more vegetation growing through those, giving it an aged look. Wanted the stone to look like it's been there for years. As many of you know, in Cholt, the jungle is overgrowing most of the cities, encroaching on the cities. It's a very mildly tamed continent. A lot of my builds tend to be what I like to call tabletop ready, which means obviously I know I'm not going to win any prizes with any of these, but my goal is to give my players a really cool experience when they're playing, and I derive a lot of satisfaction from just having my players say ooh and ah, and them thinking it's cool. So. And one last embellishment, decided to go in and put a few more tall pieces around. Makes you feel just like you're in Cholt, doesn't it? There's the arena, and here we go into the arena. Thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you really enjoyed it. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I would really appreciate it if you would subscribe. If you enjoyed this content, let me know down in the comments. If you didn't like it, leave me some comments. Appreciate everybody's support. And once again, thanks for watching this video.